The sister-state relationship between Michigan and Shiga was signed into existence in 1968 by Governor Romney and Governor Nozaki, due in large part to a lot of work done by Lillian Kumata, who lived in Okemos, Michigan. Lillian was born in 1924 and lived in America with her parents during the time leading up to World War II. When America entered the war, Lillian's parents sent her to Japan to live with her grandparents. Lillian's parents were sent by the United States government to an internment camp soon after. When the war ended, Lillian was one of the few people in Japan who could speak both Japanese and English, so she was hired to work at a U.S. military base in Japan. Lillian met her husband Hideya around the base, and they eventually moved to Michigan. Lillian was the key organizer of the initial sister-state agreement for Shiga and Michigan, and was thereafter involved in many aspects of the international relationship. In 1999, one of Japan's highest honors, a medal from Japan's Order of the Sacred Treasure, 5th class, was bestowed upon Lillian at Michigan State University by Japanese officials. In 2018, the sister-state relationship that Lillian helped create for Shiga and Michigan had its 50th anniversary. An event that summer at the Meyer Gardens in Grand Rapids, Michigan included a tour of the new Japanese garden there. Over the 50 years of the sister-state relationship, approximately 15 sister-city relationships have developed and flourished between cities in Michigan and Shiga. In the early part of the program, a teacher exchange was developed between Shiga and Michigan. Larry Arbanas, a science teacher in DeWitt, Michigan, was one of a group of teachers who took Japanese language classes at Lansing Community College for a few years in connection to the new sister-city relationship. Larry and 2 other teachers were selected from that group to be exchange teachers in Japan for 6 months for the first part of 1986. Larry was sent to Adogawa, Shiga, and after that he worked tirelessly to get a sister-city relationship going for DeWitt, Michigan. In 1989, Shiga sent their first visiting official to Michigan, in part to work with Larry for a year in an effort to help make Larry's work easier. When Shiga and Michigan decided to have an annual exchange of 20 students each summer, Larry jumped right in and was one of the 2 chaperones for that first 2-week experience. After a few years, the state of Michigan felt it couldn't keep supporting the international relationship, so the program was in jeopardy. At that time, Larry convinced the DeWitt superintendent of schools to run the program from there. However, the next year, DeWitt said that they couldn't continue to do that. Larry then asked Jenny McCampbell of the Clinton County Intermediate School District if she'd be willing to coordinate it from the Clinton County Regional Educational Service Agency. The superintendent at that time, Larry Schwarzkopf, was thrilled about the idea, so Jenny started running the student exchange program from the city of St. John's, Michigan in 1995. Meanwhile, Shiga had started sending 1 teacher to Michigan for each school year to visit schools throughout Clinton County. Susumu Ninagawa was the first teacher in that role who Jenny dealt with, and Ninagawa sensei came up with the idea that St. John's might like to have a sister-city relationship with his city. The next thing Jenny knew, she got a call from Kosei Shiga, from an English woman who was fluent in the Japanese language. Not long after that, the powers that be in Kosei became enthusiastic about the sister city idea, and that's how St. John's got its friendship city. Jenny later had 2 opportunities to travel as a chaperone with a group of 20 students from Michigan. In 1997, as a chaperone in Shiga, Jenny made an official visit to Kosei to meet the mayor. The mayor of Kosei presented special gifts for both Jenny and the city of St. John's, one of which was a plaque made from the material previously used to make hats for field workers. The mayor even added his own calligraphy. While in Kosei, Jenny also toured an indigo dye business, which had been designated as a cultural treasure by the nation of Japan. The owner had been operating the business for many years, and he grew and harvested his own indigo plants. The city also commemorated Jenny's visit by presenting her with a ceramic plate decorated with indigo dye. After that visit, Kosei sent over several teachers to visit schools in St. John's for a few weeks, and the Kosei teachers developed friendships with the St. John's teachers. Many of the elementary students wanted to have pen pals, but the language barrier was too high. Soon after that, though, the St. John's Kosei Friendship Committee was started, and the students began exchanging artwork. That developed into a program which is now 24 years old. Each year, the art made by elementary and middle school students is exchanged and displayed publicly as month-long exhibits in both cities' public libraries. Unfortunately, the exhibit was canceled in March of 2020 due to the pandemic. As for 2021, the teachers have said that it would be too difficult to pull that whole program together considering how mixed up this past year or so has been with COVID. The teachers are hopeful they can restart the exchange program in 2022. One of the best features of the art exchange is that an elementary music teacher in St. John's has taught her students some traditional Japanese folk songs each year. That always concludes with the Lake Biwa rowing song, which is like an unofficial anthem for Shiga. Another ambitious project that the St. John's Kosei Friendship Committee launched in 2000 was to take the vacant lot just west of the St. John's Public Library and make it into a Japanese-style garden. During the garden's development, articles were put in the local newspapers and a community-wide mailing was sent out asking for donations. The end result is a peaceful garden with 3 cherry trees that bloom every spring. Thankfully, the landscaper Pete Motes generously donated his time and quite a bit of the landscaping. A plaque at the front of the garden even has the names of donors who made the project possible. The next step is to put a bamboo fence about 3 meters high in front of the old brick wall on the west side of the garden. The other major aim of the St. John's Kosei Friendship Committee is finding people who want to participate in the Sister State Goodwill Mission. Adults are welcome to join the Goodwill Mission, which has traveled every year for over 50 years, except last year due to COVID. On even-numbered years, Shiga people come to Michigan, and on odd-number years, Michigan citizens travel to Shiga. People pay for their own transportation, but they become homestay guests of citizens during the time they are in Shiga or Michigan. Those trips usually happen in the summer, but sometimes they do take place in the autumn. Dates have been announced for 2021, but much like what happened in 2020, things might not work out as planned. And lastly, here is an update on the relationship between St. John's and Kosei. The new name of St. John's Friendship City is Konan, after the prefecture of Shiga strongly encouraged smaller towns to merge with a nearby city so there are fewer cities in Shiga. Thus, the St. John's Friendship City relationship is now incorporated with Konan. The hope for the future is for St. John's and all of Michigan to resume the regular exchange program with Shiga as soon as possible. Until then, please enjoy this short audio sample of the Lake Biwa rowing song, sung by St. John's children in 2017 to commemorate the song's 100th year. Thanks for watching. See you soon!